Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn biology. Today, negative feedback. After that, we're going to do standing leg stretching. And if you participate in the standing leg stretching, that's at your office. Let's see what it is here. Negative feedback is a part of homeostasis, and we did already homeostasis in biology. We're coming now back to negative feedback. It is vital that the internal environment of the body is kept constant, and that is called homeostasis. So homeostasis makes sure that in the human body, the water content, the sugar content, and the mineral content and the temperature are static, always the same. Many of the mechanisms that are used for homeostasis involve hormones. Hormones are chemical messengers that are carried in the bloodstream. They are released by glands and passed to their target organ. For example, the liver is sending out insulin that travels through the bloodstream. The pancreas is sending out insulin that travels through the bloodstream to the liver, and the liver then, if the blood sugar content is too high, converts the glucose into glucosane and stores that in it and doesn't release. Well, I think they never said that. No, on the whole page here and the other parts, we did a few in endocrinology with diabetes. They never said who puts the blood sugar into the blood. It seems not to be the liver. The liver seems to take it out. So it's not that the liver is producing this blood sugar or is producing glucose, it is just the glucose for some reason in the human body. And now the negative feedback measures with receptors that for processing that there is too much blood sugar or glucose in the blood, and when the pancreas is sending out the hormones, the insulin, that comes to the liver, and the liver starts and goes into the blood fishing after the glucose, takes it out, converts it into glucosane, and stores it. The liver has nothing to do with putting the blood sugar in. It is just activated to go fishing and take it out, and then to convert it into glucosane, and then to store it. I'm more or less openly thinking. Okay, there are these hormones, insulin for example, by the pancreas, are released by glands and passed to their target organ. Hormones take longer to have an effect compared to nerve impulses, but the responses usually last longer. Now we already had a pain impulse on the nerves is almost immediately there, and it seems logically that if the pancreas is sending out insulin to the liver, but this takes, I don't know how long, but at least seconds, maybe minutes, maybe hours. Now, and they last longer, at least minutes, maybe hours, maybe days. Now, we already had a little thing here. The glucagon can be released, and that then converts the stored glucosane, which is stored in the liver, back to glucose. I think that would be then released into the blood, and now the liver would actually be a part of putting it into the blood. But it has to be previously in the blood, whatever. What if there is still the insulin having an effect on the liver to get the glucose out of the glucosane, and when there's already too little glucosane in the blood? What if some people have too strong insulin or a liver which reacts too long? Now here, diabetes part 2, where the liver or the cells in the human body don't react to the insulin. They don't do what they are told, and the glucosane stays in the blood. What if someone has a too strong liver? What if someone has too strong insulin? What if someone now has, after eating, glucosane goes high in the blood? What if someone now has still the insulin, and after exercising down, what if someone has still the liver working on getting the glucose out when they already had started to do exercises? Can it be that now eating before exercise causes it, now eating makes the glucose high, and the pancreas says to the liver, take the glucose out? What if now the liver is working to get the glucose out while simultaneously exercise has started? What if, so the idea is, how long does it go? How long is the liver now executing this command? Is there any way to intervene and stop to do it? It could be converted glucogen. What if the liver gets confused by getting all the time insulin and glucogen, so that it starts to make the glucose from the blood in? Or can the liver do both at the same time? There are different cells working. It's basically the big question. what can there be messed up? Can it be that a different system is at work? And can it be that maybe intentionally it is eaten? Something which puts a lot of blood sugar or sugar into the blood, and then starts exercising. So intentionally eating something sweet or something which causes blood sugar, I don't know, and then to start exercises. So that at the same time, the liver is taking blood sugar out while the exercises are burning. Or the other way, can something go wrong if the insulin is too strong or the liver works too long? What happens to the insulin? What if the insulin doesn't properly go away after 2-3 days? Does it just break down? How long does it go? Just minutes, hours, or days? So basically, the question, what can be, through different mechanisms, be messed up? A part of, we already know your diabetes type 1 and 2. That seems to be broad categories, like the pancreas part 1 is just not releasing insulin, the liver never starts doing something, or diabetes part 2, the liver is not reacting and it's not doing something to the insulin when it gets the signal from the insulin. But these seem to be very big, broad categories. And there's certainly more to it than just 2 categories. I'm not going to talk on with my voice. We're going to continue on the next part of negative feedback. We're going to do now the leg stretching, standing leg stretching. If you're here for negative feedback, go to the next video. We will do now standing leg stretching. If you participate in the standing leg stretching, that's the tip. We're starting with a mushroom. Leg up and point the foot down. We're going over to the greeting mushroom and to the waving mushroom. And then the way out direction also. And the other leg up, first the mushroom, point the foot down. Now the greeting mushroom. And now the waving mushroom. And the next exercise, train, take the foot at the ankle, make it straight back, and point with your leg, with the knee down to the floor. We're stretching the quads. And the other leg at the ankle, make it straight back, and point with the knee down to the floor. And let's do the garden gnome in the middle. Heel onto the ground, pull the toes in, move the leg from left to right. The other heel onto the ground, pull the toes in, move the leg from left to right. And we're doing the train stop, train buffer. Toes are pointing forward, and we're stretching the inner side of the leg. And now the other leg with the toes pointing forward. And we're gonna do the Niagara Falls, legs wide apart, we're breathing in. And out we're hanging down. And this is a leg stretch, not a back stretch. So just breathing in through the nose, we're just hanging here, we're stretching the back. So breathe in through the nose into the chest. And out through the mouth. And in. And out. And in. And out over to the leg. Breathe it in. And out. Again in. And out over to the other leg. Breathe it in. And then out into the middle. Close the feet and we keep on hanging down. Breathe it in. And out. Breathe it in. And out. And breathe in. And out, we're coming further back up. And the last exercise, the hiker's hilltop stretch. Heel onto the ground, pull the toes in. Bring your foot to the left and pull the toes in. Foot to the right and pull the toes in. Foot into the middle and pull the toes in. And move the leg from left to right. Upper heel onto the ground, pull the toes in. Foot to the right and pull the toes in. To the left and pull the toes in. Into the middle and move the leg from left to right. And now one more, calf stretches. Heel onto the ground, straight back and lean forward, so stretching the calves. And the other heel onto the ground, straight back and lean forward, and just stretching the calves. And let's end with a chunky glide. Have the breathing in and count down. And breathe out. Out. Everything comes relaxed. And out. That was well standing leg stretching. Thank you very much and until next time.